All right, now we're going to figure out how to load film. So we usually start out with 400 Kentmore film. Okay, so they come in these black containers and you simply pop it open. You can recycle this or you can hold on to it for when your film's done, which is what I like to do just so I don't lose it. All right, so I can put that away in my bag. And this is what it will look like when it comes out. It's extremely important that you do not pull this at all right now, because as soon as you start pulling this out, you're exposing the film to light, and meaning you're going to miss out on some shots if you pull too much. So let's wait on that and just kind of keep that off to the side. So we grab our camera, we simply pull up on our rewind knob so that we get our little lever that pops for us, and then pull it all the way up until the whole thing opens up for us, okay? So, here we go. One thing you'll notice is we have this flat pane here called the film landing pane, okay? This is where our film is going to go across. On this side is where we are going to insert our film. There's a little slit on the inside of this pole here. That is where the tip of the film, which is called the tongue, is going to go inside of that little slot. All right? First, we need to insert the film canister into the left side, okay? Now, in order to do that, you'll notice that one side of this, the top piece, has a little piece sticking through. The bottom is nice and flush. Kind of imagine when we insert a battery into a toy or some kind of thing that takes batteries, there's a side that has a spring and the side that doesn't, right? And it matches up to the plus or the minus side. So imagine that this is the plus side of the battery and this is the minus side that's flat. So we got to match things up so that it makes sense, okay? So knowing that, that means the minus side of your film should match up to the top because that's the side with the piece that's poking through that kind of catches it, while the side that has the piece that sticks out, that lines up to the bottom that's nice and smooth, okay? So you push in, and sometimes this does take a little playing around until your film is in there, okay? It's in between the top and bottom pieces. You should be able to wiggle around your film. One thing that happens sometimes with these cameras, and it's extremely important to know when this is happening and to not ignore it, is that you can push it in there too hard or in a certain kind of angle where the whole thing will get jammed and it doesn't really move. And this will be a huge issue because although you might take your film out and you'll pull it and you'll attach it to the little slit and it start advancing the film, when you go to close this, if that film canister is stuck and it's not moving, it's going to get stuck and jammed, and then you're not going to be able to shoot through your roll. And we can't just open this thing up. When we are done loading up our film, we have to keep this closed until we're done. If we were to open it halfway through, we ruin our entire roll. So that is one thing. You cannot open this camera until you are done shooting your entire roll. Okay, so make sure that this thing is moving around a little bit wiggly like that. If it's stuck or too tight and nothing's happening, we need to take it out and do it again, okay? All right, next step, you're going to take it and kind of hold it in place so it doesn't come out. Pull a little bit out, okay? Enough so that it starts coming over to the other side. It touches the slit on the pole, but there's, a little extra, okay? Because what we need to do now is you take the tongue of the film and you simply insert it into the slit, okay? And you push it in there a little bit. It's hard to exactly tell you how much, you just push it in there. And then what you do is let go, okay? And you start advancing your film. You pull your wind at the top, press a button, the shutter, pull it again, okay? Press it again. And you do this a couple times. Sometimes it takes, I usually do it like 4 times until you can see it wrapping around this spool on this side. You can see that it's nice and flat across here. You can see everything working and moving together. Boom, bada boom, you're loaded. So you close it up, push this back down, pull this in, pull this lever in, push that down, okay? And make sure you turn it so it's completely flush. There's no way this thing is opening up. And that's it. You're ready to shoot. You should be able to see that you are up to, excuse me, you're at the 0, okay? So that tells you that you are at your very first frame. If the 0 is not there yet, that means you still have some room where you can advance a little bit before you get to your first shot, all right? The last thing I forgot to tell you in my earlier video is that so there is no on and off button on these cameras. So that means, so we don't drain the battery. When you are not using this camera, it's really important that you leave it face down on a table or put it in a dark place such as a bag, because otherwise leaving it exposed to light is draining the battery when you're not using it. That is the on and off button for these cameras, is light. It has a sensor inside, so the moment that there's light coming in, it's working and the battery is in use. So please make sure that when you're not using it, that is face down or in a dark place. The other last thing I want to mention is that if you're ever worried that your film is not advancing and you're not sure if it's working right, when you go to take a picture, okay, remember it's black, so that means I have taken a picture, right? So when I go to advance this, okay, as I advance it, this should be also turning, okay? So I'm noticing that mine's not turning at all. So there might be an issue with my film. I'm going to open it up, I'm going to take a look, but I want you to double check that this is moving while you're advancing, okay? That is how we load our film.